Good evening, everybody. This is Mr. Abdul Wahab Jamal. Welcome to a new English session. Today we are going to deal with 4.7, Unit 4, Lesson 7, working with the chapters, paragraphs, and connectors. This is English as first language. I'm teaching Checkpoint Primary, Cambridge International. So in this session we are going to explore how to investigate paragraphs and we are going to explore chapters and we are going to have an idea about connectives. All of this, of course, is to serve our purpose in writing. How to use paragraphs in writing, how to use chapters in writing, and how to use connectives in writing. Our main purpose is to write. I'll move through the exercises while I am explaining. What is a paragraph? If you look at the syntax of the language, you have letters. A group of letters will give you a word, and a group of words will give you phrase or clause. Phrase or clause. And when you have a group of phrases or clauses or words, you have a sentence. And when you have a group of sentences, you have a paragraph. And when you have a group of paragraphs, you have a chapter. And when you have a group of chapters, you have a story. So, a paragraph is a group of sentences that are about the same topic or the same idea. So they are discussing or dealing with one topic and one topic only. Only one topic. Each paragraph then should start with a new idea or a change in direction. And you can think of it like a mini story or a thought. If we don't use paragraphs, our writing would not be hard to follow. Paragraphing is something very important because it will organize your text. When you are looking at a text, you have to feel relaxed while you are reading, and the reader should be in your reading, in the text. You have to avoid ambiguity. That's why we are organizing our paragraphs into our writing into paragraphs. The question is, when do we start a new paragraph? Whenever we have a new topic, a new idea, we have to start a new paragraph. When we have a new time or a new place, you have to start a new paragraph. When you have a new character, you have to start a new paragraph. When you have a dialogue, we have to start a new paragraph. When we have an emphasizing or stressing on something important, an idea I want to make alone, I have to start a new paragraph. When I am changing the tone, changing the mood, excuse me, I started my story happy and then I moved to sad mood. I have to change the paragraph. I use the word suddenly. I have to change the paragraph. So, changing paragraphs is related to what? To new character, new setting, like new time, new place, new dialogue, new character introduction or introducing, emphasizing on a new idea, changing the mood, changing the tone. All of these you have to start a new paragraph. Most important is when you change the topic or the idea. Do we have a rule for making paragraphs long or short? The answer is no. Paragraphs can be long and can be short. That depends on the genre you are writing. If you are writing nonfiction, it is most likely to write in medium to long paragraphs, and that depends again on the topic. When you are writing a nonfiction text, usually the paragraphs are related to each other, or the length of the paragraphs have the same length. So maybe three to four lines for each paragraph. And usually the paragraph in nonfiction is like burger. We have an outer bread, an upper bread, a lower bread, and inside we have the cheese and meat. So when you are talking about the outer bread, the upper bread, you are talking about the main topic, the topic sentence. And then you have the cheese and meat, which is the supporting details, a sentence for explanation and another sentence for evidence or example. And then you have the last sentence, which is the concluding sentence, or the lead paragraph, or the lead sentence. Sorry. So you have four sentences. While in the fiction, sometimes you can write a paragraph like one word, one phrase, one sentence, one line. It doesn't matter. It depends on the idea. So paragraphs can be long or can be short. The important thing is we are focusing on one main idea wherever the paragraph length was. Moving to chapter, as we said, the chapter is a group of paragraphs. It's a section of a book. It's a mini story. It has a title, it has number to show where it fits in the story, and it has a theme. Chapters have themes. Unlike the paragraph, which has main topic or main idea, chapters has themes. Chapters have themes. Chapter help to organize the story into smaller parts or episodes, if you wish to say. So episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, or part 1, part 3, part 4, or chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, all are names, different names for the same idea. That makes it easier to read and follow when you have a chapter. So chapter 1, which means part 1, chapter 2, part 2, last chapter, last part, episode, the end, the last episode. What's the purpose of that chapter? What does that chapter do? Chapters divide the story into sections, so you will understand the events. And chapters show a change in theme or action. And the chapters sometimes have titles, like the heading of the story or the title of the story. And of course, from the title, you will understand, you will have a hint about what the paragraph is talking about, what will happen in this story or in this chapter. Now, moving to connectives, from the word connective, it connects, it links. Connectives, in my idea or in my point of view, connectives are like joints. You know, in science, joints. Joints are essential and very important to the human body. We can't move without our joints. Otherwise, we will be like a piece of wood or piece of metal. We are not flexible. Because of joints, we are flexible to move and uh, link our parts or our body or our muscles with each other. So connectives are words or phrases which link words, links, phrases, link, sentences or clauses, link paragraphs and ideas with each other. So sometimes you have a link or a connective which links two words with each other to make a phrase, or two clauses with each other to make a sentence, or two sentences with each other to make a paragraph, or to link two paragraphs with each other to make a chapter. Connectives or transition words are very important. They will help the reader to understand what's the writing. It will help the writer to uh, produce a flowing, if you wish to say, a cohesion in your writing. So it will help to make writing flow and make it easier for the reader to understand the relationship between ideas. So I did this because of that. I moved this because of that. I did this before that. I will do this after that. So connectives are words to show order, okay? To show link. I have a plenty, I have many connectives. According to purposes, we have five to six types of connectives. When I am sequencing, so I will use next, before, later, first, then, after that, finally, until. All of these are words to sequence or to order ideas or things with each other. I have cause and effect connectives, like because, therefore, as a result. They will show cause and effect, reason, due to. I have contrasting connectives, which show differences, like although, unlike, however, on the other hand, except for, though, even though. I have adding ideas connectives, like and, in addition, also, as well as, beside, additionally, moreover, furthermore. All of these are adding ideas. I have comparing to show similarities connectives, like compared to, compared with, as. And I have something related to conclusion. In conclusion, in the end, as a result, okay? To show the result or to show the conclusion in the end. Why are connectives important? As I said, connectives help the reader to follow, or yes, to follow the flow of your writing. Without connectives, your sentences might seem disconnected and the reader may get confused. Let's use the Diary of a Space Traveler and other stories to understand paragraphs better. And remember, in stories, paragraphs group of sentences together based on a common idea or an action. I will go and apply what I've learned on the reading text. And I need you to focus with me, please. Yeah, that's the text. The Diary of a Space Traveler and other stories. Okay, remember we read this before. Professor Shinko or Shonko and his companion are flying in his spaceship towards Mars and so on. If you will look at the paragraphs, at the diary, at the science fiction story, you have numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The Cambridge or the writer did that just to simplify or make it easier for the readers or for students of Checkpoint Year 6 to understand that this is a paragraph, this is another paragraph, this is another paragraph. So when they will ask questions, you will what? You will go through the numbers. Go to paragraph number 1. Go to paragraph number 2. Look at paragraph number 3. Look at paragraph number 4 and so on. How did I know that these are paragraphs? Except for numbers, I have to put a space to skip a line between the two paragraphs in order to separate between them. In some references, we have indentation, which means you have to use 4 spaces in the beginning of each paragraph. That's an indentation. So I want now to understand or to know what's the purpose of starting a new paragraph. I'll read the first sentence or the main idea. We can see nothing but Mars when we look out of the window. So that's an idea, introducing a topic or a new idea. That's why I've started with a new paragraph. I have put to one side all that we shall take with us. So he is preparing his bag. So that's a new idea, to introduce a new idea or a new topic. Prahlad isn't worried at all. He does not anticipate any trouble. I don't want to. I am introducing a new idea. I will start a new paragraph. An extraordinary thing happened while I was writing my diary. To emphasize on an idea or to introduce a new idea. Today, while I was busy writing, I changed the time. Today. Then, somehow, I managed to get up. I've changed the time. Then, what could be the reason behind? That's a question. I'm asking a question or I'm emphasizing an idea or changing the topic. There are 5 hours to landing. A new time, a new place, a new paragraph. We landed on Mars 2 hours ago. A new time, a new place, a new paragraph. A little distance away, a red river is flowing by. I'm describing a new topic, a new paragraph. I haven't yet seen a living creature. A new topic, a new idea, a new paragraph. That's about the paragraphing. And all of this is chapter, okay? The theme is what? Exploration. The central message is what? Showing, surprise, or exploration. Searching for new things. If you will look at these red words, these are connectives. Now, it's a time connective. Though, it's a contrasting connective. But, contrasting connective. While, sequence or time connective. Today, while, sequence or time connective. Then, sequence or time connective. That's a relative pronoun. Until, time or sequence. Then, time or sequence. That, again, relative pronoun. As, it could be compare or it could be reasoning. That, relative clause. Except for, I am excluding, I'm contrasting. Okay? So, let's remember paragraphs we have short and we have long. Usually short paragraphs might be used to emphasize something like characters' thoughts or to create suspense or build tension. While longer paragraphs are used for more details, to explain more and to describe longer events. Remember, we are changing the paragraphs when we have a change in action, when we have new ideas, when we have dialogue, when we have a new theme, new place, a new time, new character, and new mood. And we use connectives to link words, to link phrases or clauses, to link sentences within a paragraph, to link paragraphs within a chapter. And remember, we have 5 to 6 types of connectives: sequencing, adding, adding or addition, cause and effect or reasoning, contrasting or showing difference, comparing or showing similarities, and we have the conclusion or result. I have two sentences. I went to the market. I needed vegetables and spices. I want to connect both of them. I have two ideas or two answers. Number one, you have to put, or I can put the connective in the middle. I went to the market because I needed vegetables and spices. I went to the market as I needed vegetables and spices. I can say as I needed vegetables and the spices, comma, I went to the market because I needed vegetables and the spices, comma, I went to the market. Remember, when you are putting the connective or the adverb in the beginning, then you have an adverbial or a front adverbial. Then you have to put a comma after the first clause. Plenary. What's to remember? Paragraphs are a group of sentences about the same idea. And we start a new paragraph for a new idea, change in scene, change in setting. We'll have a new person or a new dialogue. Chapters, they organize the story into smaller parts, and they might have a title which hint at what happens, and connectives are words or transition words which link words, phrases, clauses, ideas, sentences, and paragraphs. Different connectives serve different purposes. We have sequence, we have cause and effect or reasoning, we have contrasting, adding, comparing, and concluding. All the time, remember, when you are writing, it is very important to put a paragraph shape, paragraphs in the beginning, paragraphs in the middle, paragraphs in the end. You have to separate your ideas into paragraphs. You have to use connectives inside sentences and inside paragraphs and inside that chapter. Okay. All of this is what or why? To organize your writing. To organize your writing. An activity or the homework is 4.7, working with the chapters, paragraphs, and connectives. That's in your workbook. You have focus. You have to underline the paragraphs and say what's the purpose of them. And then we have to complete these sentences from our own, putting logical clause. And of course, you have to underline the connectives. Then you have a word bank or group of connectives, and we have to put or fill in the gap, or we have to use the better or the best one to link two sentences with each other. Can you see? Of course, when I'm using this, I have to delete the point or the full stop, put a comma, put the connective, and make this H or this letter lowercase or small letter. And in the end, I have to take those words as well and try to put them into one paragraph, not in one sentence. It is a little bit tricky. It's a challenge question, so be careful. Okay. And by doing this, we are reaching the end of our session today. Inshallah, next session will be 4.8. Write paragraphs describing fictional surroundings. Okay, we would have a new text. I'd like to thank you, all of you. I'd like to thank all of you for having me tonight. This is Mr. Abdul Wahab Jamal, saluting all of you, and inshallah see you next time. Thank you and have a good night.